Would you like to discover the 5 reasons why women love emotionally unavailable men? Hi, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man Method. And look, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that bell right below, subscribe, so you get notified for that next juicy video coming your way to help you to attract that right man for you. So here is the reason number 5 why women love emotionally unavailable men. It triggers the tension dance. Now hold on one second. What is that all about? Okay, so what happens is you always have tension between two people, right? You have tension between a man and a woman. So what happens is you always want to have a certain amount of tension in order to keep it quote unquote interesting, right? Fascinating, charismatic, lots of variety. So you want to have that tension, right? Of like sort of that provides that up and down, right? That left and right, because we sort of have this like emotional experience of adventure, and we have like this exploration of a width, really, right? Like a wide array of emotional responses, right? And so what happens is, we're actually creating sort of this tension inside of our body when we're waiting for him to respond, right? And then guess what happens? So we have this tension in our system, right? We're checking our emails, and that was totally true for me as well. Whether that was online dating, whether that was waiting for a text message. I mean, I was really just like hold this tension, right? Talking to my girlfriends, and then what happens? He texts or he emails. And then what happens? The release of tension occurs, right? And so that feels so good to your system. It's like, oh, yes. And so that actually creates sort of like this tension loop, right? That actually what it creates sort of like this addiction that you start to get into, right? Because it feels so good, this relief, right? If you like held on to a lot of tension and pressure, and all of a sudden you let it go and relax, it feels so good. This is why men love emotionally unavailable men. Reason number 4 is it gives them the freedom to feel. Now, okay, hold on one second. What are you talking about, Antia? Okay, so what happens is, this is always interesting, right? Because we actually have this dance going on between closeness and space, right? We want intimacy, closeness, but we also want space. We want freedom to move, to make our own decisions, to be our individual self. So what happens is, if we have a man who is like emotionally available, right? Like sometimes it can be like, okay, he's already so emotionally available. That means he already wants to create so much intimacy and closeness and connection with me. Then I need to be the one that creates the space, right? So I can't really feel that much, right? Because I have to like create this space because I want to make sure I'm free as well, right? So sort of like, he comes a little bit more into your space, so to say, emotionally. And that can feel like, for sometimes it cannot feel safe for some, right? If you had an emotionally unavailable father, for example, or mother for that matter, like it doesn't really feel safe to you if somebody comes like so close, so fast, emotionally. But guess what? If somebody's emotionally unavailable, now you can be as emotionally expressed as you want to. Isn't that amazing? You can write him love letters. You can write him love songs. You can like daydream about him. You can tell him how you feel about him, because he makes sure that he creates all that space. So now you are the one who can actually bring in the warmth, and you can actually bring in the emotion. Big point here why women love emotionally unavailable men. Reason number 3 is we have this illusion that we can turn men around, right? It's somehow like this prize and this accomplishment. And here's the thing, it's actually supposed to heal your childhood trauma. So if your dad was not emotionally available, right? And you thought as a child, of course, you took it very personal, like all little girls do. Right? So if you were like, oh, it's because I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not patient enough, you fill in the blank, then what you're going to do, because now you have an open loop and you spend the rest of your life working on closing that loop. Now, How do you close that loop, you ask? Well, you attract another emotionally unavailable person into your life, right? That like mirrors your parent that was emotionally unavailable, and you turn them around, right? Because the whole time the little girl wanted to turn the parent around. If I jump just through enough hoops, if I just turn myself into enough of a pretzel, then my parent will change. And so the hope is that the cycle finally completes when she turns the emotionally unavailable man around. Of course, this never happens, but that's extremely intriguing and attractive. And this is why women love emotionally unavailable men. Reason number 2 is it makes you securely insecure. Wait a minute. This is not just a play on words. Picture this. When you feel insecure, how much certainty do you have around feeling insecure? A lot, right? So it's interesting that it's actually a level of security that you experience in the insecurity. You know what it feels like, right? So let's imagine a scenario when I was dating and I was meeting men, and I knew already, like before they were not responding, I knew how they would not respond. I knew exactly what I would feel like. I knew exactly this disappointment that was coming on. I knew what that felt like in my body. I even knew what that quote unquote smelled like, right? I could just like feel it. And then when it happened, when I got disappointed, I knew exactly what the next emotion is going to be. And then I'm going to reach out to my friends, and then I get to be right, and so on and so forth, right? So I created the security in the insecurity, right? Like, so when we're all doing that, we're actually feeling quite certain, like how insecurity feels like, how disappointment, how the letdown feels like. And so because the brain also favors a sense of certainty, right? And if we feel more certain in our insecurity than we feel in our security, we tend to be more attracted to emotionally unavailable men because they will bring out that insecurity inside of ourselves, right? That questioning ourselves, that doubting ourselves. But you know what? We rather experience an emotion that we already know how to handle than a completely new emotion and an array of possibilities that we have no clue and no certainty how to actually handle that and whether or not that's quote unquote safe. Now, I say safe here, but it's being, the unconscious is saying whether it's safe, right? Safe is something that I can deal with. But if I've never experienced joy, if I never experienced reliability, I never experienced true trust and true unconditional love, then that actually doesn't feel safe to my unconscious because I've never experienced that. I don't know how to handle that, and it feels like a foreign body. Reason number 1 why women love emotionally unavailable men is because it causes attraction-xiety. That's right. You get those fireworks, you get those like feelings down your spine, you feel excited, you have butterflies in your stomach, right? So you have this you have this attraction. Well, it's actually, by the way, anxiety, but you mistake it for attraction, right? So it's like, it feels like really intense because of course there's a high level of aggravation in the system when we feel anxiety, right? And so that then really, wow, it actually means, wow, we're more attracted. There was actually a research study that was done a few years ago, and here's how it went. They had men walk over a very sort of like dangerous bridge, right? That was hanging over a canyon. And then at the end, there was a woman waiting for him, right? So there was obviously an attractive woman. And so depending on, so they were basically actually seeing how anxious the man was before, after he walked over the bridge, right? So he felt like that anxiety, that fear. And men who felt more anxiety and more fear, they ended up like rating the woman on a higher number, right, of attraction than the man who didn't feel as anxious, right? Interesting. Now, is it a causation? Let's call it a correlation, and enough of a significance that it's worth talking about here, right? Because that's what we're really doing. We need to understand, wait a minute, why am I actually attracted? What actually attracts me? Is my nervous system actually feeling calm, integrated, aligned, trusting, right? Like if you have this crazy attraction, right? And like it floods, of course, chemicals flood our brain as well. Then it's like, yeah, that's the attraction-xiety. And it feels like this, like sort of like, seductive cocktail, I would call it, that then really you want to repeat it. It feels so good, But that's why women love emotionally unavailable men. So this is it for today. So I'd love to hear from you. What reason did you resonate with the most in the comment section? Let's chat about it. Let's have a conversation. Of course, if you like this video, please share it with your girlfriends. And as usual, if you feel like, oh my gosh, Antia, I have all those symptoms that you just mentioned to me, and I'm always attracted to emotionally unavailable men, and I don't know how to navigate out of that, then I invite you to take my Magnetize Your Man quiz at magnetizeyourman.com, or simply click that link below. This is it for today. Much love, ladies, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.